Welcome everyone. Today I have a very exciting new Summoners build. So looking behind me, we test running this one in tier 16, tier 15 maps, and there's no problem at all in those maps. And I'm sitting on a lot of resistance, a lot of movement speed, and the biggest highlight about this build is that this is a Headhunter hyper speed summoner build. I can reach easily 120% movement speed or even 140% movement speed, and we have so much durability, we have so much damage. The build is one of the best summoners build I've ever created or tried, and I believe I hit the very big optimum point for the summoners. You can see that we can just stand in Abus in tier 16 and we can tank pretty much everything. Although my mana did go down a little bit, it instantly recovered very quickly, and we're super durable, tons of bonus life, bonus mana, and the best thing about this is, if you look on top of the icon, I'm stealing rare monsters modifiers. So we're stealing the abilities and also spells and also passives and also auras coming from the rare monsters whenever they are randomized with different modifiers. Now, how strong is the Headhunter with the summoners? This is a good question, because initially me and my friend Royal was discussing this, and because the summoners don't really take advantage of the Headhunters offensive abilities like extra damage, bonus attack speed. So how good is that? Of course, I'm going to adjust my loot filter because I had it on the gold run, so it's the minimum loot filter. So after adjusting loot filter, let's have a look at the summoners with the Headhunter. When you say rare monsters, I love rare monsters now. Running into rare monsters means I now have my Headhunter stealing their buffs. So you can see on top, now I have 5 different modifiers that have been stolen by me. But this gets extremely powerful as you face more rare monsters, as you find more rare monsters in the map, which comes very quickly, and you keep those buffs for 60 seconds. So surprisingly enough, guys, the rare modifiers for the summoners is actually really good. Now I have 17 different auras or abilities that have been stolen with the modifiers, and look at this, I have Brazilian different auras, and my coverage of radius, I don't even know what I have, but it's incredible. So running towards the boss over here, and you can see I didn't even do much and the boss is gone. This is a very, very fun summoners build. So I want to showcase a little further. There has been a number of adjustments. I've tested this build in a lower budget version versus a higher budget, slightly higher budget, and I'll show you guys the trait filters, everything related to those new items. You can get the premium upgrades with some better stats, or you can get the basic starter, just getting the Headhunter and also the gloves, maybe something you want to try for the summoners. Because as a summoner, we don't really get a lot of good summons, unfortunately. The Spectres are not the best, and yes, I am using the speedy ends. The Frozen Mandibles is one of the best using this build. Simply because I'm in melee range, I don't need too many summons, and you can see how mobile I am in running through the maps, rolling through them, and it gets even better. So right now I only have 4 different modifiers, right? I see a rare monster, my speedy ends mow them down within seconds. Now I have 7 different modifiers, and all I have to do is finding new rare monsters, and my build and also my character becomes even stronger. So now I have 10 modifiers. You're super speedy, super durable because you get random buffs to mana, random buff to energy shield, random survivability buff, damage reduction, and so many goodies for the summoner. And that was the boss. So just to showcase, I'm not sure what exact buff we have stolen, but let's have a look at this. I'm sitting on 93% movement speed, unbuffed, unsprinted. So let's have a look what happens when I sprint. We're sitting at 141% movement speed. Now, of course, if you hit into a wall, your movement speed will stop, right? But most of the time, I just roll through monsters. So this is a 141% movement speed summoners build that steals buffs and also, modify for an enemy. On top of that, in order to make ourselves durable, I have 80% maximum fire resist. That means massive damage reduction to all the elements, as our damage taking is also converted to fire by 20% coming from the passive ascension. We're also using a shield. That means we have block chance, even more survivability. So just to show you guys further, you can come over to the final part of the video. There will be 2 different demonstrations of using different variant. So currently I'm using the more expensive variant, which gives me maximum resistance and also a lot more benefits coming from the charms, the shield, and also more resistance coming from the juice. there is another version which I have been testing, and I'll show you guys over here. There is a cheaper version that doesn't need to have to run the Aura pad. So previously notice I had 9 summons of my frozen Mandibles. So if you want to run a cheaper version without the Aura Haste Aura, which you can kind of steal from the monsters, you can run up to 13 or even higher frozen Mandibles or the ends. And this is actually not bad as well. So I do have a cheaper, slightly cheaper version that is still using Headhunters, but doesn't require you to have all the other fancy items. And we'll talk about this as well. So you can see, I just stand there, we tank everything, and we have all the auras, all the buff coming from the monsters. It is amazing. So I've been speed running tier 15, tier 16 maps using this setup. And you can see, we're just loving life as a summoner. I don't have to aim, I don't have to cast any spells, I can tank pretty much everything because of the monster modifiers are quite OP. I also have a free random blink when you get the face work ability, I believe, which kind of surprises me like this, because I'm blinking and run, I don't even know what's happening. And you can see our Frozen Mandibles is killing everything. It is a really exciting build, and I'm so glad I decided to try the Headhunter, because it is not a traditional item for the summoners. It is a very popular item for the Deadeye, but the price has been lowering, and I'll show you guys how to get a cheaper item. So yes, I even have a blink over here, as you guys can see, and that was stolen from the monsters. So fast forwarding a little bit, and just to show you guys, it is super fast. Fast forwarding a little bit, you can see various of maps of me just running around and also benefiting from tons of speed. Here we also got a speed shy. So you can get bonus energy shield that converts into mana. You can get the bubble that reduces damage taken. You can get invulnerability aura, periodically makes you invulnerable. And it is just lovely to try. And there's so much utility. Look at all the bubbles I've stacked on my summoner. It is very fun. So I'll show all the replays, all the testing for you guys to have a look. And here is another boss using the cheaper version. And that was a boss. Now, you might be wondering how good is a build against Uber bosses, and yes, the cheaper variant will be available for you guys to have a look as well. So that's when I first started to test. I do have a number of testings I want to show you guys. And yes, one of the funny thing about the Headhunter is if you're running a 6-man party with all the meta, Blood Mages and also Deadeyes, you actually steal their buff. So my unique gloves overrides their Headhunters. So whenever there's a rare monster killed, I steal the buff, not them. So all the Deadeyes and all the Blood Mages who use Headhunters here, they don't get the Headhunter buff as quickly as I do. If I'm next to them, I will steal the buff. And look how speedy I am. It is pretty incredible. So if I'm running a 6-man party, I'm getting all the buffs. I'm getting all the effects, and I'm super speedy, which is really good in a party play. Because you might have multiple friends running Headhunters, but your items takes priority in running the Headhunter and also taking the buffs. Finally, we do have a variant adjusted for the Uber unique bosses. So the bridge boss is a great demonstration that you can run Headhunters against Uber unique bosses, because this one spawns rare monsters. We'll fast forward a little bit, and yes, the replays will be available for you guys. You can see within like half a minute into the fight, I'm already stacking 20 different monsters buffs using Headhunters. That gives me extreme survivability, tons of mobility. I can face tank enemies like that, and it's just very fun to play those maps now that I can look for rare monsters and take advantage of that. On top of that, you actually retain your buffs running all the way to the boss. So by the time I reach the boss, I'll go back a little bit to show you guys. By the time I looted all my items, I did try to loot a little faster. By the time I got to the boss, I still retained about 18 different modifiers and also buffs. And that is very powerful. Some of the auras can directly buff our minions. Some other ones give us survivability, defensive mechanics, or even something offensive that we might not need. So bravely have a look at the cheaper variant against the boss. This is not optimized, and I didn't even change my skill gems. You still deal very decent damage against Uber bosses. And this is before I changed the boss slaying setup, which I'll show you guys as well. Now that I showed you guys all the demonstrations, all the videos will be available at the end of this video for you to have a look. Everything is fully recorded, tested in tier 16 rounds. It's very fun to play. So, coming over to my character. What I'm sitting on is my optimized variant. I'll send the builder's guide for you guys to have a look. There will be a number of variants. You can be running the companion, which will cost you quite a bit of spirit. So currently this is costing me about close to 300, about 280 something spirit, but it is worth it because I get even more haste auras and also all damage shock. But in other variants, you don't have to run the companion because you have a chance of stealing the haste aura yourself coming from the raid monsters. So that is a bonus. And if you find yourself short on spirit, you can consider not running this one. Now, coming over to the core mechanics of the build, you can see I even have a boss setup that I can switch into the gears and go into the boss mode. So, what is my optimized build is running a Headhunter with 3 charm sockets and also having the 3% maximum fire resist. Now, this can be a little pricey, but you don't have to do that. A basic Headhunter that is the cheapest may be something that is more affordable and get you started. Now, in order to kill rare monsters, as a summoner, you don't actually kill things, your monsters kill things. It is very important to understand, in order for you to kill things, you will need those pairs of gloves. So it is very important to consider looking into getting the Grave Bind unique gloves. I try to speak a little slower, I got too excited. So how this works is, enemy killed in your presence, killed by anyone counts towards your kills instead. This is a very good class for me to early level because I'm running Mind Over Matter and mana get on kill. But in the late game, this also allows you to steal all the kills from your minions, from your allies, anything that is killed on enemies, it's counted as your kill. And everything goes to the Headhunter rare monster stealing its modifiers. So those are the 2 best combination of items. Now, usually I want to go through all the items, but let's have a look at those 2 main core pieces of items. And I want to help you guys to budget and also look into those items. Firstly, do be aware, the price of Headhunters is falling. There's over 2,000 Headhunters and the price was about 40, then 50, 60, 70 divine. Now it's falling from 70 to 60, now to 50 divine. So the price of Headhunters are falling. The cheaper Headhunters are pretty much about 150 something divine or even less. So if you search for the divine orbs, not alchemy, so make sure you try the different filters. If you search for divine orbs, the cheaper ones that is kind of corrupted and it's not great is selling for less than 50 divine. And if you search for the common ones, just everything else, you can see the Nailman orbs. The Nailman is a little more expensive, but if you have the consideration, do look into getting a 3 socket if you can. But the price of Headhunters are falling, likely continue to fall because people are holding over 2,300 of them, which is a very good timing to look into this build, right? So, price of Headhunter's basic version is about 48-ish divine, and yes, expect the price to fall. Now, in order to show you guys a little further, in order to give you a better filter, if you come over to the links I sent to you guys, if you click this will allow you to search for 3 charm sockets. Very important to have 3 charms, because you can run multiple great unique charms, which I'll talk about. So, notice my Headhunter has 3 charm sockets, it's very good. Once you search for 3 charm sockets, it's about 50 divine. Now, just as something extra, I realized that once I have capped my resistance to 75% with everything, you could potentially get 80% maximum fire resist, and this dramatically reduces your damage taken. So, coming over to this passive, this is the one we want. So, 20% of all elemental damage, including physical damage, is taken as fire. And here it's taken as chaos, so physical damage taken as chaos. So mostly we want to stack physical resist, mostly want to stack chaos resist and also fire resist. And 2 of the elemental damage is converted to fire. So getting maximum chaos resist and also increasing maximum fire resist may be very good. This is why the Headhunter I bought is a little more expensive with a +3 maximum fire resist valved onto this. It is not a massive increase in price because people are not searching for this modifier, but if I click this and I have the filter for you guys, just follow how I click it. It starts with 1%. If you filter by maximum, about 58 divine for the 3% and coming with 3 sockets. So if you're a little short on budget, just click off those 2 and you can see the cheapest Headhunter. And depending on your budget, you can select those filters yourself. Yeah, too excited to share the whole setup. I want to help you guys optimize. Headhunters are not cheap, but so you want to get a really good one. So, as we keep going, the secondary gloves that is very much needed are those Grave Bind. Those gloves comes very cheap. If you buy the uncorrupted version, it is about 3 to 5 weeks old. That's pretty good, right? So let me have a look. Yeah, 1 chaos, about 5 exalt. So what you want to do is you want to get a pair of those gloves that is unsocketed. Not unsocketed. You want to look into uncorrupted version, so you can corrupt this one yourself to get double sockets. And this means you can run double maximum fire resist onto those gloves. This only comes on the gloves, and the 3 socket gloves is too expensive, don't bother, because you easily get 80 with 2 maximum fire and also 3 maximum fire. Don't go for 3 sockets here, it's just a waste of divines. So those gloves can be corrupted. If you buy the already corrupted gloves, 2 sockets, it costs you about over 180 exalt. So 2 annulment is about 180 or 200 exalt. So what I'm recommending is buying the uncorrupted versions, socket it yourself, adding 20% quality to this item. I didn't add 20% quality, I didn't bother. So just socket it yourself, then velvet. It is 1 in 4 chance of hitting the double socket and save yourself over 100 exalt. Now, once you have those 2 crucial pieces, you can pretty much start running the build. Now, what is the drawback of the build is that we're running a Headhunter and also a glove that doesn't give us much resistance. And we're trying to stack maximum fire. So the biggest drawback is not having enough resistance on the rest of your gears. This can be found on the reins, on the body pieces, or on the helmet, on the boots, even on the shield, which I'll talk about. So follow to that, the next biggest upgrade is that I have decided to not use this particular weapon. This will give me tons of bonus damage, about 25% bonus damage because of the +2 minion skills and also the 45 spirit. It is pretty massive, but this particular shield gives me the much needed resistance that I don't have. You might have seen our troll videos on the last video. This is how I got to 1000 spirit using this shield. I'm currently sitting on 966 spirit. So this particular shield is not super expensive to get into it. It can be a little pricey if you want the optimized valved version. Let's have a look. I have all the filters for you guys, so everything is easy to understand. This shield starts at 25 maximum life per spirit, and you can valve this one to 31. You definitely don't want that. You want as low as you can. The lowest is 20 maximum life per spirit, and this one is selling for 18 divine, but there's a catch. This is not socketed. You want to find one that is socketed. So here's 1 to 20 maximum life. It is socketed, but you also want to find one with higher resistance. So there's a number of things you want to find, and I have the filters ready for you guys to start off, and you can search depending on your budget. You don't have to get the 1 to 20, you just get the basic one. 1 to 25 is good enough if you're short on budget. So both of the links will be available. And this particular shield gives me tons of all resist, and I can socket in for chaos resist to get to 75. It also gives me a lot of spirit. To show you guys over here, taking the shield off, I'm on 798. Putting it on the shield, I'm over 966. This is because I have been having some decent maximum life and also more items that gives me spirit. Now, as something as a bonus, you don't have to run those prison guardian shield for the maximum spirit if you don't want to, because this can be a little pricey, especially the expensive ones. The cheaper ones are not bad for about 1 to 2 annulment, but sometimes they might not give you the best survivable stats. I have an alternative for you guys to have a look, and you can see over here, which I was going to show you guys over here. You can see that this shield has maximum life, it has some good stats, all resist, and also the maximum elemental resist that if you don't find it on the gloves or find it on the belt, you can find it on the shield. So there's a cheaper variant that is filtered for you guys to have a look. You can put those filters in and insert the numbers yourself, and then you can search for the shield. There's quite a few of them that gives you pretty decent stats compared to this one if you're not too big on having more spirit. But this one does give you a little more spirit as an alternative. I'll have this one available for you guys in the links as well. Now, the rest of the gears is not too special. I do want to mention this particular effects on the weapon is not often talked about. Not this one, and this one. Which one? This one. So, increased presence of aura effect. You need to be having a big enough presence of aura so that when monsters are killed in your presence, counts towards your kill. So this means that having this particular modifier on the weapon means that I don't have to get super close to my minions and And just having some break with the water, talking too fast again. So having this predicted FX means I don't have to get super close to the enemy, and this 80% increased presence is very good. There's other places you can find more presence and also more minion damage is from anointing the amulet. Unfortunately, my amulet is already sanctified, so I can't anoint it. I bought it for cheap because of the high spirit and also the +4. To show you guys what you want to anoint, it is called the Warlord. And Warlord is over here. You want the Warlord Leader, which gives you that 40% presence and also minions deal 40% more damage. This is not more damage, increased damage, but this is a hefty boost. So if you have an amulet you can anoint, always come over here for the summoner. And those are the ones you need. It is fear, and also paranoia. So it's not too expensive. Now, as we keep going, the rest of the gears are pretty standard. Not better. I think it's more clear if I do this. So the helm is corrupted for +1. The chest piece is a new addition from a previous video with a 12% spirit reservation with a big spirit. Very nice chest piece. This is not very expensive as well because it's not the energy shield version. In terms of the gamblers, vendors gamblers, because you have so low resistance, if the shield does not give you enough resistance, and then coming over to the rings, you want to prioritize on getting resistance followed by spirit, then life. Don't worry about the rarity found, this is a bonus. I paid for about 10 to 20 divine for those rings, but if you have a Calendra's mirror ring, if you have a good ring, then you can just mirror the other one. You don't have to pay for both. And those two just allows me to make a max a little bit more. Finally, one of the ways we gain a lot of movement speed are those boots. So those boots, I bought 2 weeks into the game. So this is like 4th week. So I'm not sure how much the price those were. I bought this one for about 10 to 15 divine. Prices are going up probably, or maybe going down. What you're looking for is having 3 sockets on the boots and then 100% socket effect. And then we're socketing in this Tacros gaze, which give us 20% more movement speed when on low life. We're purposely going on to low life using those 3 perks that we benefit. And then the rest of them are the very expensive, the Ruin of the Chase, which is just a bonus for 10% maximum movement speed. And this gets me to 70% movement speed coming from those boots. We do have a video to teach you guys how to get 55% movement speed for a cheaper variant just using this gem and also 1 socket boots that cost less than 1 divine. So you don't have to invest in 40 divines. You're just missing 55 movement speed to 70 movement speed. Now, as we keep going, for defensiveness, I went for this potion. I rarely use this as much now because I'm super tanky with Headhunter and also maximum fire. So again, I cast my ritual and I drink the potion, 800 free guard. Now, in terms of the unique charms, I have changed a little bit. So let's have a look over here. Previously, I was running a budget setup with this Chaos charm. Now, if I'm taking Chaos damage, this will also recoup as life and mana, which pretty much instantly refill my mana, as you see in the replays. I'm running the anti-stun, anti-freeze charm that gives me more guard. But I have went a little further and I decided to invest in this gold charm. This works very nicely with the Headhunter. Because Headhunter, we're looking for rare monsters. When you slay rare monsters, the rite of passage with the gold unique charm, now keep in mind it's not very cheap. So this particular charm, I'm going with the Possessed by the Spirit of the Bear. Let's have a look at the bear. I do apologize, my throat hasn't been feeling too well. I'm probably speaking too fast. So we want Possessed by the Bear because the bear will give us the maximum life over here, 20% maximum life. Increasing stun threshold is great, but we want a 20% damage reduction. And this is great. We become even tankier and we're actively looking for rare monsters. So slaying rare monsters not only give us free modifiers, it also give us another 20% damage reduction and 20% more life. Is it 20% more life? Yes, it is 20% increased life, which takes my life to 3000. This is not cheap, so let's briefly have a look at this item. This is definitely the last piece you wanted, so don't rush into that. So this one is currently selling about 49 to 52 divine. If you search a little bit, sometimes you can find it at 50 divine. Oh, price actually went up. It is now 55 divine. So price may be going up. You don't have to exactly get the bear. There's other charms that also gives you more movement speed, or other charms that gives you the 20% damage reduction. But I wanted more life and also more defensiveness. The last charm we have is going to be this anti-bleeding charm, and this will also reduces your curse duration by 50% with the consecrated run with regeneration. This one's very cheap. It's about 5 exalt. And very basic mana potion over here. So we're going to come over to the passives, then we'll come over to the skills, because there are some changes. I have not changed my timeless drill. In the links below, you can see how I crafted this one live on stream, and how to search for the seed that give us multiples of attack speed, and also spirit reservation, and also more spirit reservation. I have the 8% increase in spirit crafted with the modifiers, and then more spirit reservation, and also more reservation. A bonus for this drill is that now I'm taking this point, which means killing enemies recovers mana. This is how my mana restore instantly when it goes to low, and making me almost unkillable. Because I have about 3 to 4% mana recovery per kill, killing like 10 enemies means I'm getting like pretty much my mana back instantly, and there's so many enemies on the map, and I have such a huge mana pool. And also damage taken is recouped as mana, which is really good for my mana over matter, right? So over here, we're converting energy shield into mana, and this means all the energy shield we get give us bonus mana, and the modifiers coming from the rare monsters that give us energy shield gives me more mana. For example, over here, this is a good example. So in that 6-man run, you can see that I'm sitting on 4,500 mana because I stole a monster's aura that provide the whole team with more energy shield. So sitting on 4,500 mana, that means I'm super tanky because my mana is life, right? So how do I get overflow? It's coming from the base of the Cargo timeless drill. Again, make sure you watch the previous videos of crafting this one. So I get 1.5 times my mana, so it overflows. Now, in terms of the other drills, I recommend getting time against the darkness, time lost diamond with the 12% of 12 spirit per socket for 12 spirit per knot over here. And I've only gotten a few because I'm running out of passive points to get the rest. And this also gives me the resistance I'm missing, which is chaos over here. It can be anything, fire, cold, anything you're missing. Now, finally, I have upgraded 3 of my gems. Remember I said running the Headhunter and the gloves means I'm short on resistance. So one way to find resistance is coming from those spirit gems. I'm running 3 Grand Spectrum. This is how I have 960 mana, and this is how I amplify the flat mana gained from the shield and also the chest piece, also the scepter, into a percentage mana gain. So we have 18% by running 3 of those, and then we have 4% over here. We have 8% increase in spirit over here, so tons of percentage spirit gain. Now, those jewels are corrupted. I didn't corrupt this one myself. I bought the already corrupted version, and just to show you guys what is available, you can look into the corrupted diamond that comes with all those stats. So not only you can get the 2%, which multiplies to 6% when you're running 3 of them, you can also get the enchanted corruption that gives you whatever you're missing. Whether you're missing your stats or resistance, you can be finding those over here. And just to show you guys how to search for those, so I'll have the links for you guys as well. So we're gonna call this one, this is called, let's type the name, this is called the Grand Spectral Emerald. And then we're gonna search for, let's say if I want Chaos Resist. So I'm gonna type Chaos Resist, and then you want to search for the one that costs Enchanted. So once you search for the Enchanted one, I'm gonna search, and I'll open the link for you guys. This is the example. So once I search for the Enchanted one, notice that this has rolls from 3 to 7 Chaos Resist. The one I got was 7, which was about 18 Divine. Really depends on what you're missing. You can search for, let's say, Cold Resist. You do the same thing. Come over here for Cold Resist. You take away the Chaos. And you can see it rolls from 5 to 10 Cold Resist. The 9 Cold Resist is selling for about 14 Divine. The uncorrupted ones are currently selling for about 4 to 8 Divine. So you're paying a premium for the right bonus stat. because we're kind of missing stats because running those two items, right? And again, this is a little bit of premium, so just to min and max all the stats. So this one I had Chaos Resist, this one I had the Corrupted Blood cannot be inflicted on you, which means I don't have to worry about that. And finally, this one I have the Lightning Resist. So this gave me enough resistance so I can cap at my peak with 75. And the AT came from those two. So +2 maximum and +3 maximum. Coming over to the choice of the sockets. I have taken away the suicidal skeleton warriors so that they have essence shift still, but they're not dying very fast. They now have sacrificial lamb, so I always have 2 minions I can sacrifice with my pen offering. And they get spiked, my team gets tons of bonus damage. They will also be providing calling strike and also additional blind chances. My main units are the frozen mandibles, and they have Dallas Desire together with Heft, Mastered, Feeding Frenzy, and also Brutality. I have tried to run with Impact Shockwave, but I don't really need that much AoE. I'd rather have tons of more damage coming from Brutality. So each of my minions normally is sitting for about 150,000 damage. And if I cast a pen offering, they're sitting about, I think it's a little higher usually. Let's have a look. It's sitting at about close to 250k, I believe. Did I change something? Not close to 230,000 DPS, and it's about 9 of them. So close to about 2 to 2.5 million DPS, and you don't need that much damage for sure. Skeleton Snipers are here for suicidal now, so they're Infernal Legion, they die quickly, and then we Essence Harvest them together with Minion Stability and also Mastered. The Feeding Frenzy is just a random here, you don't really need that. So all the minions are here to be suicidal except the Skeleton Warriors. So we have the auto kill with the Infernal Legion and also Instability with Essence Harvest for tons of mana gain. So let's have a look at my mana gain. 31, and as those minions die, I quickly gain up to a lot more mana, 50, very good for mana gain. Pen offerings, very straightforward. We talked about this before, so don't have to go through too much. I think we go through the Frozen Mandibles, the Aura bot. This particular Aura bot comes with Tekro's Revenge. This means this never dies. Because my minions are always on the timer for revival, when the revival time comes, if this minion dies, it will be revived after 6 seconds. It's alive for 10 seconds, so this one never dies. We have Mid Shield and also Loyalty to give us 10% damage reduction, and also we have more shock. I purposely captured one with Haste Aura and also with all damage shock. Took me 5 days, 1 hour a day looking for this monster. We do have a video to teach you how to min and max this, so you can get to the 23 quality with 11% reservation reduction. I have tried running without it. You get more minions, so let's have a look over here. You get... oh, we got a bunch. We got 5 more minions, but I don't really need those 5. I'm killing everything without them. I'd rather have the better attack speed and also shocking for 20% more increased damage. And also the Haste Aura gives me movement speed for the minions and also myself. The rest minions are the same. They're just here to be suicided. Now, before I finish, let's briefly talk about, hey, what do you do if you play the Headhunter against the boss? Well, it's quite easy. We have some very strong bossing build. So this adjustment, before the boss, you just put this belt on. And if you want to go a little further, before the boss, you put those boots on because you don't need that much movement speed against the boss. You still have 40% movement speed because of this particular ruin, which is very good. Finally, if you really want to go ham, you can change the weapon too. So before the boss, I put those 2 items on. I'm on 14, right? If I put this on, this on, so now I can go to 17 summons, and of course I take away the aura. So 17 summons with the aura, and I think to get the aura back it costs a little bit more. Oh, actually this one does not have the dexterity, that's right. So switching too many gears over here. So maximum 17 summons against the boss, and this is all glass cannon full out. But you saw that we don't need to change too much. So what I recommend is before the boss you just put on this belt. You can keep the shield, which is definitely a very good shield, and then you just switch to the boots. That's the only thing you have to change. So don't worry about the weapon. Before the boss you put on this belt, put on these boots, all of a sudden you get so many more summons. So I'm sitting on 9 summons, and now let's have a look. So get this going. So from 9 summons to 14 summons, I got 5 more summons. That almost doubled, or increased my damage by 60%. So this is the boxing variant with the boots and also the belt. The mapping variant is just this one. That's perfect, right? So everything's pretty well thought of and well tested. And finally, the replays is available for you guys to have a look. There's a number of replays, and let's briefly talk about the skill rotation. The skill rotation is the fun part. Where are we? Let's go with this one. So skill rotations. Well, there isn't much skill rotation. As you see, there's only one skill on my skill bar, and 90% of the time, I'm just casting Pen Ritual anywhere, and this goes onto the right monster because of the support with Sacrificial Lamb. And while we're casting this one, if you have the unique potion, you drink it for 800 for free guard, and you just pretty much tank everything. The rest of the skill rotations is actually learning how to roll and also dodge. I'll try to show you guys a little bit. So we're rolling through monsters so that you can continuously to sprint, to roll, and you don't get knocked down. And that's pretty much it. And you can see how fast I am spinning, running, rolling through them. And you're just looking for rare monsters, let your minion do the work, and very easy gaming. It is super speedy. The best thing is you don't have to aim, you don't have to click, you now have auras. You become a gigantic raid boss. And notice how I'm sprinting, rolling. That is the only trick we have to continuously have high movement speed. It is better demonstrated in another video, I think. So, for example, over here, can I find a good sprinting one? Maybe this one. So for example, over here, notice I'm sprinting, I see enemies, I roll through them, I'm sprinting, see enemy rolls through them. You wait for your minions to kill the rare, which takes like a second or less, and you just keep doing that. And this allows you to have super fast map clear, tons of auras, incredible durability, and for the case you do get knocked down because of, misclicking, your minions will kill everything anyways. You don't have to do anything. You just have to make sure you're tanky enough, give the aura to your minions, and look at that. Learn the sprinting technique, you're running at about 120 to 140% movement, which is incredibly good. So, all the replays are available on the final part. Make sure you guys use the timestamps to look at the build and to see how you want to build your summoner with the Headhunter. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below for the new meta Headhunter summoner, which I'm loving it. Now, hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters, and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Majestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. And I'll be aiming to post at least one Path of Exile video a day. And this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos.
To serve me. now!
Destroy the meddler. Rise. The world will be devoured
Again,
by darkness.
Death, take you. Such a pathetic end.
salt. Endless misery.
Death is my power to wield. Obey me!
We that dreamed. We in nightmare. We that are one. Thought by thought, destiny unwinds. Our flesh is not ours. We that fail.
Death, take you! Ancient fool! Death, take you! Death, take you! Death, take you! Now! Aren't you beautiful? Gimme! Another corpse to serve me. Death, take you! Ancient fools! Now! Death, take you! Death, take you!
Now before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on our official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is gonna be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.